The Mummy, I can already feel some groans like, we already got it with the Tom Cruise remake. There was the popular Mummy franchise, but I was going to go in a completely different way with these mummies, though. Drive-By Movies here with another episode of Sequeled. My name is James.
My name's Blaze.
And this week I am sequelizing the 2004 film Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing has quite the cult audience. A lot of people did want sequels to it. A lot of people did imagine this becoming a whole franchise universe. A lot of people thought it might integrate itself into the Mummy franchise at one point. Never came to be. Universal Monsters kept getting rebooted. I'm kind of keeping on the train after Invisible Man 2 for my episode. Thought, let's go back to Van Helsing, see where we could have gone with the sequel for that. But Blaze, what are your memories of Van Helsing?
So before I feel like this movie was something that I wasn't like stoked for, but I definitely saw in theaters, and I think I was like expecting that I was gonna like it. I remember really being caught off guard by the twist. Like there's kind of like a moment in the third act or second act where something happens that you definitely don't expect going in, and I just remember not like thinking that it was dumb. Also like not liking it, and just thought the movie was all right. I didn't like love it or hate it. It was just something that I watched.
Right. I remember it's just bloated. I haven't rewatched it in a long time. I do own it, but I bought like a special edition where it came with all the original Universal Monster movies on the same DVD, and that was the main purpose why I bought it. I remember. It is a fun movie, but I remember it's kind of my first experience in a theater where I didn't go to the movies too often with my family. I'd only go like maybe like once a month if I was lucky. And usually, what's that?
That's a lot. I feel like I only went like once a year.
Yeah. Yeah. For our rate, though, we watch a lot of movies and stuff. And like, if I was only watching like that one movie a month, like it was a big event. And I remember Van Helsing was a movie I was super stoked for. It was my first year at Comic-Con the year prior before it came out. And I saw the preview for it and I was so excited. But when it came out, I was just really disappointed. It felt very bloated. I didn't really care for any of the characters all that much. And like I grew up loving the Universal Monsters, as I brought up in my Invisible Man episode. But just this one just felt bland and just like way too over the top for me, and I just didn't care for it all that much. But I'm here to hopefully correct it, or hopefully I'll set up like a good sequel for everyone who were fans of the first one, because I like where I went with it, and hopefully you do too. But yeah, with my sequel, I'd want it to focus on the Mummy and the creature from the Black Lagoon. The Mummy, I can already feel some groans like, we already got it with the Tom Cruise remake. There was the popular Mummy franchise, but I was going to go in a completely different way with these mummies, though. Mummies didn't exist just in Egypt. There are mummies from South America that were found and are tested to see that they've been around longer than some of the mummies in Egypt as well. So I wanted to focus on the Chinchorro mummies. If you're not familiar with the Chinchorro mummies, they came out of Chile. So I wanted to be taking place in like the rainforests that are in Chile, essentially. So Van Helsing, he is sent over there with his trusty pal, Carl. He was a friar played by David Wenham. I found his character to be a little obnoxious in the first movie, and that was also taking me out. I kind of want him to tone it down with this one, but for whatever reason, the Vatican City sends Van Helsing out there to figure out what's going on with this mummy, and there he meets an explorer. He's learning about curses being found in tombs and stuff. And so he's sent out there to figure out what's going on, and he meets this explorer played by Lorenza Izzo. If you're not familiar with Lorenza Izzo, she's sorry if I'm butchering her name, but she was in Green Inferno, and she was also in Knock Knock and Aftershock. So if you're a big fan of Eli Roth movies, she's the main actress from all three of those movies. Blaze, you remember her work, right?
Yeah, she was good. I thought she was really like fun to watch in Green Inferno. I think, is she the final girl in Green Inferno?
Yes, she is. Yeah. Yeah, so I brought her in because she's a Chilean actress as well too, and then so she's going to be the explorer. I thought like also like Kate Beckinsale's character, like just like they're trying to protect her and stuff. This girl, I just wanted her to be the explorer, where she's like protecting almost Van Helsing. Just give her a more badass persona. Essentially, she's like gonna really take charge and lead Van Helsing into these tombs, learn the ways of the culture out in South America. Well, South America is a continent, but like just like the different cultures in Chile. But yeah, so she'd also be like partially a love interest, some fun bickering and also fun flirting between their two characters throughout the movie. But when they finally get to these crazy tombs in the forest, like I imagine like crazy cave tombs, and like can add some crazy like bug scenes and crazy like just creepy curse scenes inside these tombs. But I want the main mummy to be played by Gael Garcia Bernal, who I haven't seen in a while. He was in the movie about Chile called No. Blaze, you remember that movie?
Yeah, I love that movie. I thought that movie was excellent.
Yeah.
It's been I feel like it's been a minute since I've seen him, but I also feel like he was in a big movie recently, but I can't quite remember.
He was in Jon Stewart's directorial debut. I forget the name of that movie. I think it was called Rosewater, but that was like a big movie that brought him in. And he's also had some success with Mozart in the Jungle. But I always just felt like, because I love You Too, Mama Tambien. I know you do too, Blaze. But we feel like we see Diego Luna way more than we see Gael. And so I'd love to see more of him. And I thought this would be a fun movie to see him as a mummy, because I don't think anyone would expect me to choose Gael Garcia Bernal as the mummy. But I just think that would be cool to see him fight against like Van Helsing. So I just imagine him being a cursed mummy, and the reason why he was mummified essentially is because he was trying to bring out this water demon from the sea. So with this water demon, I imagine it to be the creature from the Black Lagoon, but just a different take on it. It's not a creature that's prehistoric. It's essentially a demon that like they believed in. And so like this, he's trying to bring it out because this is like the god that he worships essentially. And so that's why he was mummified. And I found some interesting research. So there were different mummies back then. There was like natural mummification, red mummification, mud mummification, and black mummification. Black one I thought was horrifying. These are when people would disassemble body parts and then reassemble them, and I thought that was intense. So I could imagine Gael Garcia Bernal being a creepy mummy where his body parts are all messed up, kind of, where he's all dismembered and he just has that creepy look essentially. And then, he's just trying to bring out this water god that he believes in. That's the gill man from the creature from the Black Lagoon. And just Van Helsing has to fight this guy and fight this monster for a big climactic battle. And I thought that would just be a fun ass movie. And that's what I would like to see out of a Van Helsing sequel if I had the opportunity to make it.
Definitely. I think that would be cool. Who would you have be this creature from the Black Lagoon?
So my version of it, I mean, I don't imagine a character playing it. I definitely would want to enhance it. It's basically like a 7 foot person in the original one. I'd say it's like bigger than all the other people, but not that much bigger. Doug Jones, he played the Gillman creature from The Shape of Water. I just imagined a CGI creature. I'd kind of want it to be like 9 to 10 feet tall, but similar to the original version, maybe just a little bit more crunched and a little bit just more bulky looking at the same time, where it's like kind of ape-like, where it stands up super tall but like lunges forward like crazy. So it could just be played by like Andy Serkis, or I know Toby Kebbell's been doing a lot of ape work in the Planet of the Apes and the new King Kong movies. So just one of those actors. I just imagine it to be a CGI creature where you don't empathize with it as well as you did with the original creature, because I do love the original creature from the Black Lagoon, but it's basically just a King Kong tale. But I just imagine it to be a sinister like monster that just follows orders and just wants to kill, even though it's seen as this god creature that I've established it as.
Definitely. So I don't remember like that well, but did the original Van Helsing end on a cliffhanger? Is that why people were clamoring for a sequel back then?
The only cliffhanger I could really imagine was I remember they allow Frankenstein's monster to go and be his own. Like he just wants to live and just not be looked down upon. So that's how it ends. I mean, Kate Beckinsale, spoilers for, nearly 20-year-old movie, but what's it called? Kate Beckinsale's character dies, and Van Helsing, I don't remember. I think he's still a werewolf technically. Maybe he was cured. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he's still a werewolf technically. So he does have that power in him essentially, and he does kill Dracula. But so you'd have to go with all new creatures. You could bring back Frankenstein's monster, but I just thought actually one of my things was though I would like to establish Lorenza's character though, like maybe a post-credit scene to where maybe she meets up with the Frankenstein monster, and then she wants to meet him at the end of this movie, and then maybe they can establish a Bride of Frankenstein universe or something. But that would be like Van Helsing Part 3. But yeah. I did think that part through because I'm thinking franchise with this.
Oh, for sure. You got to. If you're working at Universal, you're a fan of the dark universe, like you got to be thinking sequels before you even think prequels.
Yeah, they did it how many times before that? Yeah.
They're still doing it to this day. So
Yeah.
no one's asking for it, but we're getting it.
Yep. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for my sequel. Hopefully you guys liked it. If so, leave this video a like. Thank you so much for checking us out and supporting the show. Best way to help us out, though, is by checking out Van Helsing itself on our Amazon affiliate link in the description box below.
And if you haven't already, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of this sequel to Van Helsing, and click that subscription button and the notification bell to know when a new video will come out.
Drive-By Movies concluding this week's episode of Sequel. Tune in next week for another new video.